I think that we can all agree that 2020 has been a tough year. Sometimes you just want to take a step away from all the blood, violence, and general assholery forced upon players in most video games. This is where Moon comes in, the RPG that made me realize what a jerk I've been over the past 25 years of gaming. Originally released in '97 on the PS1 as a Japanese exclusive, Moon, known as the anti-RPG, was finally localized and released on the Switch in late 2020 by Onion Games. Moon was developed by Love Delic, a development company founded by former employees of Squaresoft who worked on games such as Chrono Trigger, Super Mario RPG, and Secret of Mana. Also worth noting is that this game was partly composed by Miki Higashino, the absolute genius behind Suikoden 2's incredible soundtrack. While Moon certainly had some experienced staff behind it, what was created was something completely unique and unlike anything I've ever played before. I guess this is why they call it an anti-RPG, as you don't play the role of the traditional RPG hero. Instead, your job is to spread the love, and if you ask me, the world needs a lot more love during these tough times. This review is going to look into what Moon is all about and why you should definitely consider giving it a shot. Before we get into it, if you liked this video, it would help out a lot if you hit like and sub for loads more RPG content. I'm also currently running a giveaway for a $100 gaming gift card, so feel free to check out my social media pages to enter. Alright, let's get into it. Moon begins by putting you in the shoes of a young gamer playing an RPG on his game station, a game in a game, Inception style. Immediately, it is made clear that this isn't going to be your typical JRPG. This game in a game, known as Fake Moon, starts off by challenging common tropes and highlighting the issues that we've all come to experience in old JRPGs before. We've all seen it, you know, portraits not looking anything like the sprites, lengthy essays of text intended for world building and lore dumps, and finding ever so powerful legendary equipment in someone's dresser. Anyway, after playing this for 10 minutes or so, the young gamer is sucked into the world of Moon, a land called Love de Garde, and from there, well, it's a quest for love. Things work a little differently in Moon. You are not the hero. The hero is this jerk who has no regard for the well-being of others, storming through townspeople, stealing from others' houses, and slaughtering monsters all around the world. You know, just like you've been doing for the past, your entire gaming life. In Moon, you're just a seemingly regular boy stuck inside a game, and in order to return home, you need to collect love by helping out NPCs and reviving fallen creatures. I found the story to be charming, entertaining, and hilarious, and the huge variety of quirky characters made the journey an interesting one from the start to the finish. Moon knows exactly what it's trying to do, and it does it so well. There's also quite a strong message presented at the end of the game, and I felt that this was very clever and so perfectly fit with the theme of the game. Moon's focus on love and the subversion of RPG tropes means that things play out a lot differently to what you would expect from a JRPG, such as having no battle system whatsoever. For this reason, the game plays out as more of a point-and-click adventure game. Exploring the world was my favourite thing about Moon. You start off by having access to the city, but as you increase your love level, which is Moon's level up mechanic, and solve problems for other characters, more areas will open up to you. This is due to your action limit. See that gauge at the top? This directly impacts what you're able to achieve in a day, and when it runs out, it's game over. This mechanic makes it that you have to go into each day with a plan, as you can only achieve so much before it runs out. Unless you make it back to bed in time, you are dead. And it would help if the game actually told you about this and some other mechanics. Instead, you have to work this and many other things out on your own. With that said, Onion Games did tweet out a translated instruction manual that would have helped me out a lot had I known at the time. Once I learned what to do, I grew to really appreciate this system, but I tell you what, it created some stressful moments. The accomplished feeling of solving a few puzzles throughout the day and then frantically racing home, watching the timer tick down as your sprite becomes sluggish and moves slower, only to pass out just before bed. But honestly, this is only an issue at the start of the game. As you increase your love level, your action limit will also increase, meaning that you can venture out for longer periods of time. By mid-game, I didn't have to think about this much at all. As you progress through the game, you'll eventually get an additional bed to sleep in and different methods of fast travel, and this helps reduce the amount of backtracking that you'll be doing. The big issue that I had with this system, however, is that you can't speed up time. You will often need to set your controller down and wait a few minutes to reach the right time of the day in order to activate an event. This could have so easily been prevented with a simple time skip option. Some other quality of life features that Moon was in desperate need of is the ability to purchase multiple items at once and an option to quickly skip through NPC dialogue that you've read many times before. It would have been nice if these simple features were implemented for a 2020 localization. Moon is all about helping others with kindness and increasing your love level, so how exactly do you do this? Firstly, you can help out other characters in the world. In some ways, Moon was well ahead of its time, and the NPCs are an example of this. Each character has their own lives, and the location and actions will change not only depending on the time of day, but also the day of the week. For instance, some characters may go to the bar on a certain night of the week, and interacting with them during this time will be the only way to solve the problem. Solving these issues will take a lot of thought, even if many only require a certain item. This guy, for instance, can't get to sleep, but his love can be obtained by giving him some chloroform. You can also obtain love through reviving animals around the world. Remember that hero I mentioned before? Well, he levels up by slaughtering innocent creatures, leaving you to pick up the pieces. There are many corpses around the world, and by interacting with them, you'll receive a clue as to how to capture their soul and save them. Some of these are very simple, such as being in the right spot at the right time, but some others require a lot more thought, and there were many that I was unable to solve. With no in-game system to keep track of monsters or NPCs, I was forced to put on my detective hat and flip out my detective notebook so that I could keep track of clues and other odd occurrences that I encountered. Boy oh boy, having a notebook in front of me at all times, wowee, that really takes me back. I was completely addicted to Moon for many hours, venturing out from home, solving a puzzle that I've been working towards for hours, coming across new and interesting things that I would later need to investigate, meeting new quirky characters and unlocking new unseen areas of the world. There's just so much to do, and I would highly recommend Moon for this unique experience. If you get stuck with what to do, there is a priest that will provide you with some guidance, and there's also a duck that will inspect and discuss your items. But even with this in-game help, after a certain point in the game, I hit a roadblock. I really don't like turning to walkthroughs when playing through RPGs, and I always try to complete the games that I play without ever doing this. In Moon, however, you will reach a point where you need external help. Honestly, if you're able to do everything required to complete this game without turning to the internet, firstly, my hat comes off to you, good sir. Secondly, I do not believe you. Now, many of the tougher puzzles do have in-game hints somewhere in the world to help you solve them. That's fine, but others do not. Here's an example. Entering the fireworks factory is a requirement to complete the game. However, to do so, you need to be in an exact spot at a specific part of the day. You literally have a 3-second window, and unless you are incredibly lucky, you're not going to find this. What I'm trying to say is that the plot progression was perfection for the majority of the game, but eventually things became somewhere between unreasonably difficult and impossible, and this was frustrating. As you can see, Moon's graphics are interesting, but personally I liked the unique art style of the pre-rendered backgrounds with uniquely drawn sprites that often appear as hand-drawn or made of clay. And while the characters that you meet are not voiced in the traditional sense, they still have loads of personality due to this style of speech. This definitely helps give the game some charm. I also have to make a mention to the music system. Throughout the world, you can purchase and find loads of Moon discs which unlock a particular song that can be played on your portable music player at any time. There is a massive range of genres here, and some of the tracks are really great while others were not so good. In addition to playing these songs while traveling, putting on specific tracks in certain places is a requirement to solve some of the game's puzzles, and I thought this was a really effective and unique idea. After 25 years of playing RPGs, it is really good to see that there's still some out there that can surprise me. Moon is not your typical RPG. This anti-RPG challenges those JRPG tropes that we've been experiencing for years, and as a result, we're presented with one unique, engaging, and at times hilarious ride. This whole twist on classic JRPGs makes for some very unique storytelling, and the great world and entertaining characters makes Moon a truly memorable experience. Exploring the land, solving the many puzzles, and spreading the love provided many hours of fun. The only real issues that I had with Moon was the several required events that were close to impossible to solve, and the lack of quality of life features such as time skipping and the purchasing of multiple items at once. So, is Moon worth playing? Yes, if not just for the fun that you'll no doubt have with the game, but also because of how enjoyable it is to jump out of the jerky hero's shoes for a change. Have you played Moon yet? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments. This was Hellfire RPGs. Thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to hit like and sub for more RPG content. Also, make sure you check out my socials for a chance to win that gift card. See you next time.